I created the channel on YouTube just like, many other people perhaps. I wanted to share my voice. I wanted to speak up. I wanted to say something. I did not want to remain silent anymore. But our world, our digital world, has also become consumed by the sharing of so many multiple and different ways of thinking and living and being. And perhaps here's another question for you, those of you who might be listening and may have made it this far within the lines of that. When you're sharing your content online, you're putting it out there into the universe and seeing what happens within the ripples that you put out there. What are you hoping for? Are you wanting to create conversation and have the connections and help people feel like they're not alone within that connection? Are you trying to point out the differences and vilify people who think differently than yourself? Are you speaking about the past from a historical standpoint and a religious standpoint to talk about where we are, where we have been, and where we may be headed? Or are you an all of the above person? I think to a certain extent, we all can be that way. We vilify ourselves whenever we get so hard on ourselves and we feel like we can't anymore, like we are just done. Or we are over apologetic for something that is actually not our fault at all. And yet the perception of us and what we feel has been taken in one way or another way from another person, so therefore perceived as wrong or hurtful or damaging, when it actually ends up being their personal journey, is what is creating the difficulty within themselves. The inner suffering that we may have, the vine that we hold on to, that is filled with thorns, covered, digging into our own flesh, when sometimes all we need to do is let go. Do we have a personal agenda for those of us who have social media accounts, or are we just putting our voices out there to be heard? Now, I never know or can think about where anything that I ever put out there will become. And whenever I look at any of the videos that come up as suggested videos or seen videos, say if my family is watching YouTube and then I happen to see, oh, look, that's a video that has me in it. Oh, okay, there I am. And I definitely don't have anything professional as far as a setup right now. And who knows, maybe I never will. But what matters to me is that I'm putting my voice out there and I'm not waiting until the time is right, because the time is now to be able to speak my words and to be able to say, I want to be able to share my voice, even if you don't think you can. May I be a person to help be your voice. For those of you who feel like you are worried that you're going to be separated from your family, torn away, deported, I am so sorry you're having to go through this. For those of you who've lost your home recently in a fire, my heart breaks for you. All of those years of memories, everything, all those keepsakes, any one of us who would have all of a sudden it just gone in an instant. How do you start over from that? How do you continue forward? I'm not saying life and the things within it are easy. No, they can be quite difficult. But what defines our character is that what we do and how we can help other people. Being there for other people is one of the most Christian things that we can do for one another. The most godlike thing, the most beautiful, heartfelt thing that we can do for other people is realize that whenever we hold that inner suffering and we project our hurt upon the world, we will receive hurt in return. But if we do everything within a loving, compassionate, and kind heart, as in the life of Jesus, a person that, people admired within history, or what is the most read book within history. You'll get Jesus in the Bible. That's just kind of how it is, right? Even though, Hinduism and other aspects of life, they've existed so long before that time. And I might be called out on this because, you know, a lot of people feel like what they do is they look for the people who make mistakes in their videos and then are ever so quick to criticize and point out those flaws. And yet, whenever we actually take pause to reflect and have a conversation and we discuss it and we communicate really well with one another, why do we need to argue? Why do we need to fight? I invite everyone to take pause and reflect. Before we are quick to judge and point fingers at one another, may we look ourselves in the mirror and gaze upon our own reflection and understand that if we are people who are representing other people and representing a voice of other people, we need to do so when keeping all people in mind. Your ancestors were immigrants to this land. This is a country that has been known to be the backbone of people coming in from other parts of the world. And as I was trying to share in another video, this whole entire world, once it occupied humans, by the way. No, it's not so Old Testament to where it's very biblical, but it's actually so much more complex. And the humans of history did not know all of those aspects. So they wrote the word as they knew the word and how they heard it to be. And whenever they spoke to a divine creator, that divine creator was taking that time and that moment in the existence of humanity to be able to express things, however it was meant to be at the time. For would we have thought that the divine creator was like a wizard and that we should ignore the words given, or a witch, burn them alive, because they speak falsehoods? Many great people of our time have been persecuted and killed over the use of their voice. And I do not know what my future holds, but what I do know is that I will not be scared or bullied or threatened into silence. I will love my neighbor. I will love all people. Even if you wish to destroy me and be the one to pierce the knife through the love that is within the world, I still see the love that all has for you. And I pray one day that you see it too. We are a world born out of chaos and love, connection and separation, but most of all, unified. May we remember to be the hope. May we be thoughtful. And may we give ourselves unlimited amounts of grace and forgiveness, but to not just ourselves, to others. We cannot be defined by any one or other type of label. We are all, and we are united. And there are many who live in silence out of fear for speaking and using their voice. And may we be a voice for the voiceless and live through action. I do ask that you take care of yourself, and if looking at social media or news outlets or anything else is just too stressful, especially since some are very heavy-handed and others are just seeming to desperately plea with the world, please just open your eyes and look at what is happening. Please look at the lines of history, and may we not duplicate. Please, may we not separate. Let us not persecute the people who are different than ourselves, who do not have as much as what we do. I will not use the typical lined words. However, for those who understand what's going on within the world, in our country, and all around, we know, and we are living awake within this moment. We have been deceived, we have been lied to, and we have been told the truth. And we are here in this moment. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to stay silent? Or are we going to rise up and use our voice through action? May you remember today that it's the day that has been made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We do not need to speak in one way or another to show our kind-heartedness and the love and compassion that we have. We do not have to speak on only one type of spiritual guide or leader. We can speak about all of them and how each one has served a purpose within time. May we be the positive love and change that we wish to see in the world, and may we kind-heartedly look at one another. May we understand that our actions can have terrible repercussions. May we be able to reflect and look back in the future and be proud of where we are now. I wish you peace, and I wish you love. And I thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Life is precious. Let us not waste it, and let us not take advantage of the time we have being petty about differences. May we be the love that helps strengthen and unite and bring us together. May we remember to be kind-hearted and loving to one another. May we not allow our personal ego and agenda and what we feel is best for our lives be imposed upon others around us, because that is not within our rights to do so. May we all remember to love ourselves, the person who we look at the most when we are gazing upon the reflection of what other people see. May we not turn inward so much that we forget about those around us. And may we not discriminate others for how they are different than ourselves. Much love and peace. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you later. Bye.